gents, welcome to the new Rilifit podcast. And this is the first episode of Movement Know Some More. Now, some of you guys may know about my other channel, which is also called Leap, and my podcast show, also known as Therapy Tea Time Talk. And that one is much more focused on the discussion of therapy. But for this one specifically, we're going to talk a little bit more about physical exercises, fitness, and most importantly, movement. Now, the reason why we're talking about that today is because there are a lot of discussions about different types of movements out there. And I think in regards to movements overall, it can be understood in many different ways, right? In terms of physical movements. So let's say, for example, when you are working as a dancer, when you are doing sports as a sportsman, we all move quite differently. So in order for us to understand a little bit more about movement, why don't we now take this time to interview some of the experts in this area. So now when it comes to dancing, let's say breakdance, for example, we have to coordinate two things, right? First of all, your ability to create your movement, and of course, your ability to move, and at the same time, coordinating yourself towards dancing to the beat. So there's actually a movement technical aspect, and also at the same time, the temporal training aspect as well, as you have to learn how to coordinate to the beat, which makes these guys the movement artists or experts, in my opinion. So we are very honored today to bring onto our show one of the greatest people I ever met in my life. His name is Bboy G. Now his crew, Now and Ever crew, has actually represented Canada to take part in the global breakdance competition Battle of the Year. And him himself is actually a dance instructor, and he has been doing breakdance for quite a while now, and is very technical when it comes to his movements, and I think he has a good flow when it comes to his movement and his stance. Welcome to the show, Bboy G.
Hello, thank you for having me. Yes.
Thanks for coming up to the show, G. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
How's the weather like right now in Japan?
Today is not very good. Today is rainy.
Okay. So it must be quite cold right now, I assume, right now at the moment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because for us in Aussie, we're like summertime, so it's pretty hot for us, looking at about 30, 40 degrees, burning skin, right? So we are like...
That's awesome. That's the best.
A little different, different parts of the world. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got started into dancing.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Bboy G. I originally born in Taiwan, moved to Vancouver when I was young, and I started dancing there during high school. One of my Korean friends showed me a music video, and I just start, copy the video in like the tape. It's not a CD stuff. It's like a VHS. Yeah, VHS, and I just started there. Ever since, I just fall in love with it. Then until now, it's about 20 years, maybe. I'm not sure. And breaking takes a big part of my life, of course, also to the other dancers. And especially that it have changed my personality. I was a very shy boy from Asia. A lot of Asian Chinese kids are very shy. But ever since I start breaking, I start outgoing, start talking to people, and I realized my physical ability is better than before. And so I enjoyed it. So that's why I still dancing even now. Next year, I'm 40.
At all times. We all try to stay young on the inside, right? At all times.
Yes.
Always feel like 18, right? May I ask what led you to go into the path of breakdancing rather than the other types of dances then?
I actually started from popping. Because the Korean friend, he's a popper. Not like a real popper, but like, the music video kind of type of popper. So I started as a popping, and I went to practice spot, we have a lot of practice spot. So I meet other dancers there, and just breakdance is just catch my attention. The movement, it looks cool, their attitude, their flavor, it just catch my attention. I just start wanting to do that more, instead of popping.
So in terms of actually learning the breakdance overall, did you learn how to do the steps and movements first before going straight into the actual dance itself? Because I think a lot of people, what they don't understand about is how you actually get started with breakdancing. what is your suggestion in that area?
So in the beginning, I just saw some like cool moves, and I asked my friend to teach me, and they teach me. I just learned the move. I don't know what else is in breaking. I just think the movement is cool, and I practice very hard to get it. And once I get this move, and I move on to the next move, and slowly understand there are different elements in breakdancing, like different. We have a 4 area: top rock, footwork, power move, and freezes. But during that time, I was always trying to do freeze and power move, but didn't, ignore the other 2 elements, which is very, very important too. So, that's what happened to everyone, right?
Yeah. So at the same time, so we mentioned about the freezes and other types of movement in your breakdancing. So when it comes to the freezes, like when you were learning it before, were you just initially trying to copy the whole entire move, or were you doing some like part practices to get to doing that move?
Actually, back the day, we don't have any instructor, like actual instructor. They don't know how to teach it to. They just copy me, and I just try to copy them. And that's about it. But right now, in terms of YouTube, internet, there's a lot of people like who share the knowledge online, and it's so easy to get the knowledge and get the idea how to do it like correctly, what to prepare, like how to stretch, how to train your, how to build your body to be able to do certain moves and stuff. So, compared to back the day, of course, now it's a lot easier and safer.
You mentioned about the elements of the breakdance earlier just then, and you mentioned about your freezes. You mentioned about the other sections in relation to let's say your top rock and also your footwork as well. So what do you focus a bit more on?
Back the day, of course, everyone just focused on flashy move, but for me, later on, just fall in love with footwork. Yeah, footwork's my favorite. Because I just footwork, for the audience, that people who don't know about footwork, is like if you look at hip hop or any other dance, they stand up and dance, and they stand up and listen to the beat and dance on the music. For breaking, we call it B-boy, your dance is not just standing up, it's also down on the floor with hands on the floor and kicking your leg into different steps, into momentum like circles. That's called footwork, and that is our type of dance. When dance on the floor, just treat it as other hip hop or choreographer, LA style dancer. They dance on the top like standing up, when dance on the floor, and that's B-boy.
So how do you normally integrate these things together? Like from your standing and from the ground floor work and also the freezes, how do you normally integrate them together?
Okay, so first of all, we have movement called go down, and that's when you stand up and go down. You have different type of go down. We start with the most basic one, just easy get down, and during breaking, we have to change the levels of your height. So sometimes you stand up, sometimes you're on footwork position, like squat position. Sometimes you're all the way down to the floor, lying on the floor. So we change around the 3 levels to make your movement interesting. Yeah, so there is no specific way to get down or get up. You just have to feel the music and try to create your own way to do it. That's what's fun about breaking, right?
And when it comes to doing the actual footwork, though, let's say from a technical perspective, right? Because there's different ways of people doing footwork in different ways, and there's different ways in which people try to hit the beat and coordinate their body, so to speak. As if they're kicking out the leg, tapping the step on the ground, right? How would a person normally train for these areas? Do they practice the actual portion of the tapping first? How do they normally train for these areas?
Okay, so for footwork, first of all, if you want to dance on beat, you need to have the foundation down, right? But back the days, of course, we don't know what's foundation. We just do whatever we want. But after nowadays, we teach students how to get all the basics, like 1 step all the way to 12 steps. You get down the foundation, you can change the speed whenever you want, and that's when the time you dance on beat. So you learn the basic first, baby steps, and you start learning how to speed up, slow down, pause whenever you want, and you play the music and you start trying to follow the beat, and that's how you started.
So it sounds like there's a lot of control that are involved when it comes to these movements in the beginning first, and then you learn how to do them better after you know how to do the actual move and have good control. Then you can start performing better to the beats. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So it sounds like because you said back in the day, you didn't you guys have like the VHS video is harder to gain access to the learning tutorial material, and now that it's easier to get it through the internet, it actually meant you actually. Like, in your opinion, do you think that practice or the small little baby steps that you talked about are like much more crucial towards building an actual foundation before you go further down the line?
Actually, compared to before, the material was very hard to get, and it was a dial-up internet. We couldn't download any footage. Even every footage looks like Lego blocks, because it was so blurry. And,
it's like pixels, right?
Yeah, it's like
squares.
I think it was like 200 something, like the quality, and so people start making like JPEGs and connect it together like GIF.
Well, so that's kind of like them putting the pictures together to look, it's like them doing the actual move, the pictures of it.
No, it's cartoon.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so it's not
Stickman.
Okay, Stickman. I see.
And so we learn like power moves like that. So watching Stickman and maybe 6 pictures connected together. But right now it's like, definitely 1 year of, maybe my era, 1 year of our hard work equals to maybe they can complete 1 year of our hard work in maybe 2 weeks. Like nowadays, like people breaking for like what, a year, they can be so good already because they have all the knowledge, they know what to do. They can easily find a foundation on YouTube, tons of channels teaching foundation, either though they're good or not, but better than nothing, right? So
it's interesting because you were talking about like Stickman, figures, like it's similar to that, and then that's how you learn your power moves. So I'm just imagining it right now. So would it be kind of in a context where you see them, put the legs in a certain way, the arms in a certain way, and then the next segment is the legs and arms in a certain way? Is that how you guys learned the power moves back then? Is this through these checkpoints? It seems like to get the idea of what you need to do.
Yes. So basically, there's 2 ways to learn power moves or any movement, right? One is the tape. Use the tape, VHS. If you pause and you press rewind just like a split second like that, just press it like that, right? It won't rewind, it will move forward like maybe 1 second.
That's kind of like fast forward option, isn't it? Fast forward and rewind option.
Just people, they don't have anything, right? They don't have slow motion. Like YouTube, you can just click like slow motion how many times. No, we didn't have that before. We just press pause and rewind a little bit. Oh, okay. So next step is like this, copy a little bit. Okay, so next step. So each tape we watch like over 100 times to learn what's 6 step or 3 step. Right now it's just how to do 3 step on YouTube, and you can just find anything, slow motion, whatever. And Stickman for power move, because why we search that is because the VHS is just too blurry, man. Like I don't even know where's his hand. The motion blur was so bad, and they're all wearing like baggy jacket for spinning. Like where's his hand position? It looks like just a ball, like I don't understand. So that's why I try to download some like anime, like crappy anime stuff to learn it.
This is very interesting because it sounds like, like from what you just described, you're looking for hand positions, you're looking for leg positions, so you understand about how to initiate and actually control or know to the actual parts of the goals of the movement to have an understanding idea of how to actually do the movement. Because I think a lot of I think people may be aware or not be aware, about the importance of training in front of a mirror to fully understand where your hand position and other things are. And I think, through our observations, for example, in this case, you're looking for specific, seems to me looking for checkpoints so you kind of know where to go. Because at that time, you didn't have technology that's good. So you break it down into small little part steps, which allows you to build up to learning your entire movement. Although it was a hard process, right? Because you guys have to use the stick man. But yeah, but it is, it seems like it is like the way to learn the power move. Is that correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so let's. Yeah, because I used to watch VHS as well, but maybe not breakdancing. It's just when I was young, because we have that VHS back in the day as well. And then if you don't have those, if you don't buy a new VHS, you have to if you if you want to record a skateboarding footage, right? You have to record it, and then you have to use the same tape and get rid of some of the stuff before, and then record the new one. So you kind of have to use the same VHS unless you keep buying new ones. But at that time, I couldn't afford buying a new one, so I can imagine what it was like, the difficulty that you had to go through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So next question I want to ask you is just more about your crew history. How you got to eventually start your own crew and how that started and what that was like. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay. So I think I met NON. I think was in No Other Name. That was the original name. It wasn't Now or Never. And it's a guy, Taiwanese guy, Lawrence, and his brother, and a bunch of other friends like Eddie, two Korean, I don't know, James. His name is James, and they go around practice spot and start creating more dancers. That's their goal, and I really like to hang out with them. So they're from Coquitlam, and I was from North Vancouver. It was pretty far, so I went to their practice spot by bus.
It sounds like a lot of travel. How long does it take to get there? Not with a bus.
I don't remember. During that time,
long. I
don't think there was. There was only one SkyTrain.
At the time, okay.
Yeah, there's no SkyTrain goes to Coquitlam before. I have to get on the bus. I don't know, the experience was very torture. I remember it was so far, and I've never been there, and Coquitlam looks like nothing. There wasn't TNT. There wasn't TNT there back the day. It was nothing, man. It was just the mountains, and I went there. It's called Pine Tree practice spot, and I started breaking with them, but the crew actually died off the year 2000, and me and Jerry was one of the other popping/breaking guy, and met on the SkyTrain station while I was going to work, and we exchanged number. We said, hey, don't you miss dancing? I'm still dancing. Are you still dancing? Yeah. So NON is gone right now, right? So why not just we start again together? So yeah, we start again. We wasn't thinking about the name, but we were just still using the same name, NON. And after that, I think we changed to Now or Never. After, yeah, and the crew start getting bigger and bigger. I was
wondering then, how did you come up with the name Now or Never? What was in your what were in your minds at the time that sort of led you to have the inspiration to come up with that name? Because it's a really good name, I think.
Yeah. Okay. During that time, we will have a little meet. There was only 5 members. Very founding members like Jax, Jerry, Andy, me, and I forgot who else. Oh, Shorty. Yeah, he's in Toronto right now. So, and yeah, we were thinking about name, but we were always very young, right? In our early 20s, and I was working 3 jobs, and in the same time, trying to dance as much as I can. And I say, we're still young right now. We can only do it right now. But my style is if we do it to the fullest. Otherwise, just don't do it. Just don't waste your time. And they were like, hey, how about now or never? I was like, yeah, it sounds good, because my English wasn't that good during that time. I'm just like, oh yeah, now or never, you think it's good? Yeah, let's do it. Naked on Nanaimo, who cares, man?
But it was a good name. It's kind of like helping people understand about the essence of capturing this moment. You got to do it now. You don't never do it, right? And I think when it comes to advancing career goals, or let's say your fitness goals, if you don't start today, you probably never started, right? So I think it sends a really good message in relation to helping people build the motivation, whether it is for a career type of goal, or at the same time like a fitness goal, an exercise goal, for example. I think it's a very good inspirational type of name as well, I think. Yeah. And so in terms of, how you guys like practice on a, like, do you guys practice on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, and usually after your work, or how does that work normally for you guys?
I don't know about other people, because during that time they were very young. They were like 16. I'm the oldest. So they were like, Jax was like 15, 16. Jerry is a little bit, because all the, for me, I think I work the most. So I finish work, finish school, I would go to studio, and basically we practice every day. And we didn't plan to practice every day. We just naturally gather. And if we didn't see each other for a day, we just, hey, long time no see. Because we see each other almost every single day.
And how many hours do you guys normally do it for? Like, do you do it from the morning till nighttime, or?
I usually be at the studio around 7 or 8, and I'll do my homework. I finish around 9:30, and the studio is allowed to use like 9 or 10, and we stay until like 2 or maybe 3 in the morning.
And the next day you get back up to go to work?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's like really, really late.
Because I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. Now, unknown to them, yeah, I know to everyone, like crew thing, it's like, oh, crew is my second family and stuff like that. Yeah, to everyone it's the same thing. Crew is your second family, but to me it's my first family, because I don't have anyone at home waiting for me. So I want to stay there the longest I can. Because I consider them as my, support, support. Someone is expecting me to be there. Not like I go home, I'm just by myself, no one expecting me to go home, no one's waiting for me, like no one. So I was living by myself a long time ago, so that really, so the crew, so that's why I really, anything I do is like crew first.
Very interesting, because it sounds like like it's kind of like a job in a way, but not just a job, but a job that you're very passionate about. Like there's a high level of commitment that has to be present in each one of the team members in order to join your crew. Is that correct?
Yeah, usually it's like if the chemistry fits, then we will welcome them. Not like nowadays people, they look like, hey, it gotta be a certain level or stuff like that. Yeah. And no one wasn't like that. And no one was like, hey, oh, we're good friends. Yeah, even you don't break, yeah, come on in,
Very, very friendly culture.
Yeah, very friendly. I just want more people to dance back the day. That's it. Because I really like dancing, and I really think no one gave me like a feeling of belonging. So I want other people to feel the same. So I just keep inviting people to come practice. I'm willing to go to, I think, Port Moody, because after I got a car, right, I'm willing to go to Port Moody if someone is interested in breaking. Just go there.
Why Port Moody at the time? Is it because
I just search online. It's like people ask me, say, hey, I'm interested in breakdancing, and I'm like Taiwanese, like Chinese people. So I'm Chinese, man. I don't know where to learn and stuff like that. Hey, you should come to practice. Oh, but we don't have a car. We're very young. We're still like grade 10 or grade 11. We don't have a car. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. When are you free? We practice this night, and we practice almost every day. So let us know when you can come over. I will just go pick you up, man. So I just drive all the way there, pick it up, come to the studio, practice, and drive them back. During the road, I will ask them, hey, do you guys like breaking? Yeah, you guys want to continue? It's kind of like that. But I didn't get any money of it. I just want to do it. Yeah. that's it. It's just
Kind of like
fun.
trying to like help expand that breaking community, let people know more about the sport, which is excellent, right? It's
Yeah.
important. Yeah. So,